timing.
Perfect.
Hey, fellas.
Hey, Tim. Nice to meet you.
So yeah, we just went live. Welcome, Tim. I don't know if any of you guys hearing this in the future have heard of MetaJAX, but you will because it's awesome. So Tim, how you doing this morning, man?
Hey, it's a bit early, but feeling good.
Awesome. Yeah, you're out in California, yeah?
Oh yeah.
Cool.
Yep.
So how was the big event?
Oh man, well, it's one of those things. I mean, you guys have been there. It was exhilarating and exhausting.
Yep, that sounds familiar.
It's not quite going to outer space, but feels kind of similar.
Right.
I don't think. I'm pretty sure we were the world's first crypto jazz festival.
Right. I want to dive in a little bit about that. Like what is a crypto jazz festival for people who might not know?
Well, mostly it was a lot of jazz, right? A lot of and what makes it crypto is the fact that, in my opinion, jazz at its very best is revolutionary. Jazz at its best is presented by exceptional musicians that are disrupting the way things are done, whether it be in music or in presentation or what they play, how they play. They're innovating all the time, and they have the tools to do that because they were born with a special gift, and then they've, through hard work, discipline, lots of practice, and they've just taken it to a whole nother level. And so these kind of players breathe that rare air that at least for me is just really inspiring to be around music and players like that. And it was so that the music was just amazing.
Awesome sauce.
Now, of course, what really makes it crypto is the fact that we were capturing every moment and we're going to be now going into high production mode to start burning out and minting NFTs out of this exceptional material.
That's really awesome. Cool. Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Where are you guys going to be minting those? Ethereum or Wax, or what's your plan there?
These will be coming out on Polygon Matic, so Ethereum.
Oh, cool.
On the Matic sidechain, and also simultaneously, a week from Friday is when the first set will be available, along with our JAX rewards tokens. So you'll be able to stake these NFTs and receive JAX rewards, which is kind of cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What are the JAX rewards going to be used for?
Well, those will be used mostly to add value to the NFTs themselves. So there'll be some inherent value. They'll be stakeable. They'll be farmable. You'll be able to also use JAX rewards in the MetaJAX ecosystem in the acquisition of other NFTs, and we also have some other utility in applications in mind within the MetaJAX ecosystem. So you'll be able to, for example, tip artists and use them toward tickets at future events, do some things in world. We were simultaneously at our event. We were in crypto voxels in the Token Smart lounge simultaneously during our live show.
Awesome.
So that way, if you wanted to, you could kind of hang out and attend and see what's going on, and roll your avatar into there and check it out. We also had a lot of visual artists involved in what we were doing as well. So that we had a gallery up that was live too, featuring their work in crypto voxels. There's a real generous crypto voxel resident, Strawberry Sith, who's a NFT OG. He had offered up his galleries, so we had two. We had his Sith temple, and then another build he has across the street that even right now you can still go and check out the art there in CV. So So we definitely had the full meta going. We had the IRL, we had the VR happening, and meanwhile, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Easy in crypto, but he's also an NFT OG. Comes from back in the early days with, if you remember that platform Cent, way back. He's from that world, and he was modding live from the floor in Discord at the same time. So live in Discord and in CV. So he was just really chatting it up, voice chat. I mean, it was amazing to me to kind of watch some of that going on, just in the so meta.
Yeah, maybe we're gonna have to get him on the show, because I tried to do that the other day and it didn't work out so well.
Let's do it.
I guess. But yeah, I like it. think it's really interesting. I heard that you guys are going to be doing something on Wax very soon, though, as well.
Oh, now that you mention it, with the help of the Legend.art team and the Yoshi drops, actually the promo dropped last week for our first, what we're calling JAX on Wax, which is to me really, really cool, because we're taking stems. I mean, what we're capturing is just some of the world's best jazz, right? It's what's referred to as straight ahead jazz. Straight ahead is that classic epic era jazz that inspired by the jazz greats from the 40s, 50s, 60s, from you say Ella Fitzgerald, Sarah Vaughan, all the way through your Miles Davis, Louis Armstrong, John Coltrane. Those are like the epic classic jazz musicians and inspiring artists. So that's straight ahead jazz, and we're capturing today's version of that at its very best. But the way we capture it is it's as if we were in the studio, even though we're doing it live in front of an audience. And so we have stems. So what we're doing is we're taking some of our best stems and remixing those with we've got a team of great producers and remixers, and creating JAX on Wax, which is specifically music for the dance floor, done with a unique twist so that it still maintains the heart of MetaJAX, being just a hint of pure straight ahead jazz, but it's definitely for the dance floor. So we've produced 3 tunes to get things started on that series with you guys, and so the first case, I think it was about 20 seconds of Tawanda, who's just a rising star. She's going to be just something else. I mean, man, she is on her way. But we did Grandma's Hands, which is a Bill Withers tune. Bill Withers is a great songwriter that we lost this last year, and so that promo was dropped last week, and we've got now coming out. When are we dropping our next one? You guys tell me.
So yeah, I didn't want to stomp you out there. Go ahead, Corey.
I have no idea.
Right.
Yeah. But that's an M Blue jam.
But we can go back and talk about what was dropped, because that was pretty cool. You can see it on the screen there. If you go over to the unboxing part on Nifty Blocks and sign into your account, there was a drop with 3 different assets inside of it, and one of them was the MetaJAX on Wax, the first promo that you guys were talking about. So if you unbox it, you can see the little promo video there. It's really quite good. I'd play it, but I don't have my speaker set up, so maybe we can do that before the end of the show.
Well, well, you guys made a really cool Tawanda avatar. I mean, I thought that was fantastic.
There we go. Yeah. I liked it as well. Like the throwback image of her dancing on the NFT itself, was really cool. I quite really liked it. Like, I was a big fan of of that, and the music as well. So I'm pretty excited to see you guys, you know, and like you said, like MetaJAX on wax, it just has a ring to it. Like MetaJAX is pretty cool, but like even if I didn't know anything, if somebody just like put me in a room and like gave me 2 cups and one of them like had like, you know, a sign in it that says MetaJAX and the other one that had a sign in it that says MetaJAX on wax, I'm gonna choose the MetaJAX on wax just because it's more ringier. You know, I'm like, that's where I'm gonna go. It's got a good ring to it. I like it. So I'm really happy to see you guys over here. Actually,
well, it's kind of like you guys kind of helped fulfill a dream because you know, first of all, the whole NFT broadcast network dreams really got, you know, firmed up in May 2020, and that's when it became evident that that's, you know, what we were building, where we were headed, and along the way, you know, there's a handful of things flow through your mind as what would be cool to do, and it was about I guess it was September or October of 2020 when I stumbled on to the Pink Network team and the Atomic Hub and all that, and at that time I actually reached out to those guys, and they were too busy to help, but which is good for them, right? But at that time I had the whole vision of, hey, perfect name on this would be Jack. You know, it just seemed like the two needed to be together, and I tried to do a few things to make that happen, and it just wasn't time yet. So that Jax on Wax name has been floating since about September 2020, and then you guys came along and gave it wings, baby. So thank you for helping make that happen.
I've talked to you know, Ann Blue a bunch about, you know, the venue that you guys have and the vision you guys have. It really, like, it, you know, taking, you know, remixes and you know, live music and that kind of thing. Like that was something that we, you know, came to when, you know, the bands that are talking to us now are like, we're going on tour, you know, how do we, you know, leverage NFTs to do that? It just makes so much sense. So could you though talk a little bit about, you know, the venue that you guys have, you know, out there in California? Because like that story is really amazing. Yeah.
So we're an actual club, and a small venue. We feel we're a comfortable full house inside our club, with about 150, 160 for dinner. We've got a great stage and PA system. We have some support from there's a pro audio company called QSC, and they're right down the street from us, and they've been tremendous support to us ever since we really opened as a club as we are in 2016. And when the pandemic hit, we you know, had to shut down. That was like the end. It was at the time I was more of just an investor owner guy who would enjoy the music, and I would you know, bring friends in, and I worked on who would be playing there, and we've been raising the bar on who are artists, especially jazz, over these last several years. But when the pandemic hit, the place was going to die. That was it. You know, the state and the government had shut everything down, and it was inevitable. Wow, we've got nothing at this point. And in a sense, both to save the investment and to save the establishment, I just went all in. I stopped doing what I was doing everything else at the time, and started doing the only thing I know how to do, which is to produce shows. And so we started producing pre-produced shows, kind of historical nature, about jazz, and featuring interview conversations, kind of like what we're doing here right now. We were doing this with jazz musicians from around the world, along with telling stories through pre-produced content. And we started doing that on March 22nd, 2020, so right away. And we were doing that every week. We started adding to it. We added a roots show, like Americana and Western swing, bluegrass, folk, all we called it eclectic American roots. We added that show in April of 2020, And then on June 4th, we were allowed to open outside. And so we immediately that weekend started live streaming live performances from a stage we set up outside. And that just kind of progressed from one thing led to another. And so during the pandemic, we broadcast, in addition to our pre-produced shows that we were broadcasting on Sundays, we produced live streaming concert events, over now, well over 200 of them. And that became really our salvation to maintain an audience and to get some attention and to build relationships, because those live streams were in front of live audiences because they were outside, so we could have people in to the parking lot for the restaurant. And then by August we added a tent, so we have this really massive tent, 30 by 100. It's industrial strength. This thing's like kind of like a circus tent, I guess. It's got stakes that go into the parking lot about 3 feet, and they're about that wide. I mean, they're just huge. But so that kept us alive. But more than that, we were the only place in LA area that a lot of people could actually play and perform. So we got just amazing musicians. Everybody came down. We even had people flying from New York to play at our place. So we were blessed that over the pandemic, the artists that were performing on our stage represented more than 100 Grammy Awards.
Wow.
So we were that's just really, again, if there was a silver lining in all this, we hemorrhaged cash, but we were able to really reach some amazing artists and including like this last weekend. I mean, in jazz, if you're into jazz and you look at who was participating as musicians in our Crypto Jazz Festival, it's just an all-star cast that, most festivals, like there's one that happens out on the beach in Newport Beach every year, and it'll take them 5 years to accumulate the players that we had just on this one weekend.
Yeah. I'm excited just having that open for musicians. As a musician myself, it was like the NFT space that saved me from having a year of just making zero money. And so I'm going to be forever grateful for that. Of course, I also, met M Blue and everything else changed beside that, specifically for me. But like it's clear to me that you guys are starting something really, really special. And to have that stuff start to get printed, the blockchain through NFTs is pretty next level. So how do people get involved? Is there kind of a way for people to follow your project? I mean, obviously, we've done the promo thing. We're going to be doing some more Yoshi Drop stuff. I'll find out when that is and start yelling about it at the top of my lungs. But
there's 3 that are all queued up, all ready to go.
Oh, sweet! That's awesome.
They're pretty amazing. And the thing is, well, I don't know. I television, so I really love production pipelines.
Right.
Why would you waste all this energy doing one thing when if it works once, you can just kind of go into production. I just love going into production on anything. That's why we've done like hundreds of live streams now. Well, why wouldn't we? Because we know how to do it, right?
Yep.
We just keep getting better at it and perfecting it. Same thing on these Yoshi drops. Now we've got the engine turned on, and there's no stopping it. So we're just gonna it's rolling now. We got some cool things in mind that are just gonna be some great drops on using these stems that we've got, because they're amazing.
Yep. Yeah, that's awesome. What's going on with you, Jimmy?
Yeah, I mean, I really like it. I like the idea that, like, both of you kind of have pointed this out, right? Like, you were doing things before, and when COVID kicked in, you were just like, okay, got to do something else, and it worked out really well. It seems, better than so. In that way, it's kind of interesting, I think. I'm just in Uplifter Tower right now, trying to find the next clean monument, so maybe we can throw some gratitudes up for you.
Awesome. That'd be cool. Yeah, I'm not sure why it's not working for me today.
But yeah. So yeah, I'm just kind of curious, like, so your artists that come to you for MetaJAX, where do they come from? Like, they know you through friends of friends, or do you actively seek them out, or like how is it that these artists find you? What's your kind of marketing strategy, or collective recruiting strategy to get people interested? Are they local artists that like are in LA or California, or how does that work?
Yeah, it certainly started in LA because we're thread into the Los Angeles musician community and specifically in the jazz community. We've got quite a few just of LA's best jazz players that kind of call our venue home for performance, and so mostly it's word of mouth, because especially when we were the only place where people could play, right? And so if there's pretty much all the jazz musicians, definitely regionally and even nationally now are aware of who we are and what we do, and so they would all love to play here, because here's the thing is that I'm all about music. I'm all about the experience. I have this I'm a musician myself, and I appreciate just exceptional craftsmanship when it comes to what the real artists, because the true high level exceptional artists, music is their primary language. For me, I worked really hard on music. I mean, I have a master's in conducting. I can orchestrate. I've done a lot of that over the years, but it's a lot of effort, a lot of work. It's truly a craft for me. Whereas these kind of musicians, they're like the LeBron James or the Kobe Bryants or the Steph Currys of their craft. They were born a certain way, and that level of skill, is rare, first of all. And then what they do, like these great athletes, is they just refine that craft and they take it to new rare air, new elevation. And so what you get are just can be magical. And so you treat these artists as the really that hidden treasure that they are, that locked up asset, and you treat them with that specialness, and then you create a space where all I ask them, I always say, hey, this is not a gig. If you're looking for a gig, this is the wrong place. We're looking down here, we're looking for some magic, man. I say, you're going to be like Gretzky. And remember Wayne Gretzky, his famous thing was that, hey, just leave it all on the ice. When that game is over, it's all about just leaving it all out there. And so I'm looking for the musicians that's their mentality. It's like, hey, I'm going to create a space that's transparent, that's easy. We have the best audio. We have the best sounding room of its size or smaller. And you guys just leave it all out there. Make the music that you were created to create. And you do that, and I'm happy. Everybody's happy. And so, we feed them. We make it a good hang, and then it's a great place. And that's I don't know if I wouldn't say it's a secret. It's just the way it is. We're about making amazing music.
I like it. Yeah, so I want to come back to that in a minute, but first, what are you grateful for, Tim?
Well, you know what? It might be a little cliche, but I'm just grateful to be still standing, man. Just because if somehow, I can't tell you how or why, if I could never have imagined 2 years ago having been on this journey of these last months. I just couldn't have. I could have never imagined it, and I probably wouldn't have done it. If I would have known what was ahead, probably never would have done it. So I'm just grateful to still be standing, amidst all these things, and to somehow have that strength and fortitude. That I'm just super grateful
Cool. I put a little bit of color on the end of that because I think what you guys are doing is really innovative and I like it. So thanks. And thanks for still standing, right? Like, thanks for standing up and bringing this, because I think it's really exciting what you guys are doing. Corey, how about you? What are you grateful for?
Trying to figure out how to put this on to a sign. You know what? I'm grateful for Bill Withers.
I might need some help with that. Withers.
That's it.
Yep. What I was thinking is like just the musicians that, Tim, to your point, that are just, and jazz really does collect them, because you know, like the real true jazz is so unbelievably asininely good. Like the musicians that are you know, being able to play in that space just make you feel like you have no clue what you're doing at all. and I absolutely love that. Hanging out with musicians of that caliber whenever I could is how I got better, right? And I think it's was my favorite way anyway for getting way better than I think I had any right to be. So and Bill Withers is just a really good sort of example of that.
Yeah, on Sunday, our first show on Sunday was a tribute to 4 of the legends lost last year. One being Bill Withers, the other Chick Corea, you know, Lyle Mays, and McCoy Tyner. And we had players that had all played at least one of those guys with us, so that was pretty fun. But yeah, last year took 4 jazz greats.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of curious, right? Like, now that you've made this kind of like jump from you know, in the physical flash music to, you know, hosting these, you know, online events, do you guys have any plans to do like other things like beyond your backyard? Like one of my favorite music festivals in the world is actually the Montreal Jazz Festival, for example, right? Like any of these other kind of places, like New Orleans has a big jazz scene. Like, do you guys have any plans to do like kind of like themed events, or are you just going to bring everyone that you can under your fold and keep running the way that you are?
Well, we've got the ability. I mean, we are basically a production house now with live audiences involved, right? And it somewhat kind of fulfills the dream that I imagined a few years ago, saying, hey, wouldn't it be cool to have like an ACL or an Austin City Limits for great jazz, right? And so we're kind of fulfilling that dream in a whole new way, because the audience for that, in order to sustain jazz, your audience has to be global. You know, to find an audience large enough to really move the needle, you can't just do it locally. You've got to do it globally. And so this has kind of given us that ability to reach around the world. Our audiences come from all over the place, just like our visual artists at our event, man. We had visual artists that were participating from, you know, the Middle East, from Tehran, Iran, of all places, Great Britain, Australia, Southeast Asia, all over the place. Of course, also U.S. And Canada. But it's just pretty exciting to be able to have that kind of a reach just from you know, right here, you know, in our little corner of Newport Beach. But yeah, as it relates to doing some other things, jazz is the foundation of it all. In my opinion, jazz is the foundation of Western, you know, music as we know it today, modern music. It's underneath it, all the music that most people are into, that's popular, really has jazz as an infusion point for creativity and innovation, and I think that needs to continue. So we're going to fan that flame of jazz as the number one value proposition underneath all music to keep it fresh. But that doesn't mean that we aren't into all genres of music. We've got a kind of a concept in the Meta Fest, we call it, that really spans what the genre nations. And so the a genre nation would be like MetaJAX is a genre nation for jazz, right? So we're working on some other genre nations that will.
I like when people just make up words, but they make more sense than real words, because that that was really good. Actually. Okay.
Well, when you think in terms of the metaverse, it kind of makes sense. You understand, because it's all about affinity groups, right? I mean, communities hang together, tied together by the thread of something where there's cohesion or something they can rally around, and music genres happen to be one of those things that are social fabric for us, right? That we can hang on to, that we can identify with and relate to, and especially those that are into the same kind of music that you're into. Those music styles are also transcendent of other things. You know, it's there's no would you say race or creed or ideology really that's attached to specific genres, but it's a style. It's an approach to things, and it does have a certain lifestyle that's unique for each particular kind of genre, right? So we're all about fanning those flames too. But you know, we're starting. Our proof of concept is jazz, that foundation, and so we've been through a beta season that started in April, kind of testing things, experimenting, culminating with this Crypto Jazz Festival, and we're going to do something similar starting in October with a different style, and that will be experimental for several months. We'll do 3 events at different locations, but in the same approach, same model, in October, November, December, and it'll culminate most likely with the New Year's Eve event. That'll be the equivalent of like our Crypto Jazz Festival, but in a different style. And so we'll be announcing that at some point along the way here.
I mean, Corey and I are kind of crazy. Like last year, we were on here for Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve, and we might do it again. So, like, can we just cover that event live if you do it? Like, that would be fun. We get on the New Year's Eve Jazz Festival. It'd be super sweet. Sure. I would love to do that.
Well, it's not going to be jazz.
Okay, fair enough. I like it. Yeah, it's and to me, it's interesting, right? Like, so one of the things that I do in the physical world is I'm a professor. I teach. And because of, you know, COVID and all of this stuff, things have kind of switched. And one of the things that I'm really annoyed about is like some of the schools have basically said, okay, well, the teachers have to come, but like the students, like, you know, they can come or they don't have to come. And some of them want to study in class and some of them want to study like, you know, online. But the teacher has to, like, the professor has to like be set up in the classroom for both of these things. And I'm like, that's ridiculous. I'm not doing this anymore. Basically, I'm quitting, right? Like, because I'm not going to play this game. This is just dumb. But when you look at it from the perspective of music and events, it actually makes all the sense in the world, right? Like if you have someone that is sitting there that is able to put on this event where you have like musicians in the flesh for the people who happen to be in the city, and then you're able to like stream it through a metaverse, so that people who aren't there can have an admission ticket and can buy and participate and see it, right? And then on top of that, right, you're releasing these as NFTs, which essentially legitimizes bootlegs, and it goes to funding these artists as well. Like I think it's a really cool mix of you know, ideas and potential for basically, you know, increasing the value of this global music scene that the internet brought on, that YouTube brought on, that all the other, like, it just seems to me the next logical extension of what has already been created, in my mind anyway.
If you can dress your avatar up for the occasion and you know, give it some cool, like we're working on some things that are going to be kind of fun, like
right,
dance move rigging, right? That's an NFT, right?
One of our viewers, one of our good viewers, he came into the Minecraft metaverse that we have over at the theuplift.world one day, and he just like basically, you know, bombed a stream, and he started like doing this fashion show with these dance moves, and it was hilarious and it was awesome. But I mean, like that's right? Like you can deck it out. You could have like online virtual dance competitions. Like that would be kind of maddening, right? Like esports is a thing now. People are doing that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah, but I imagine is in the metaverse performance is literally on a massive field, a Super Bowl performance, right? And something of that magnitude, because just imagine the incredible choreography you can have with your dancing bots. So you could have just a massive Super Bowl style show going on with a literal army of bots doing incredible choreography. And to me, that would just be so fun, right?
Right.
With live performed music. So your performance is live, and your but the dance moves are choreographed anyway, so they wouldn't have to be live. They would be robot. They could be the bots filling in, and then you could have all your whoever live avatars in world doing what making the moves they want to make. Right? I don't know. There's something about that just sounds really amazing.
I mean, one of the first times that I was actually in, the Uplift world, because I'd been doing this show with Corey for a while, and he'd been doing, his stuff over there in the Uplift world, and I kind of knew about it, but I didn't really go in that often. But I went in for the Burning Man show that we did, and we auctioned it off for charity, and we lit this giant burning man statue on fire. And there was music playing that they had created, and everyone was just there. I remember jumping up and down, right? And it kind of changed my life, that moment. It was wait a minute, there's all these people watching this online, basically this online event with music playing in the background. That's the funds are all going towards charity, and everyone's just there, standing wherever, jumping up and down. And it was a weird, revolutionary moment for me to actually be able to see the power behind how this virtual space in terms of events and music would actually play out, right? I hadn't actually made that connection, as I used to say back in those days. I wasn't a gamer. I wasn't involved in a lot of this kind of stuff. I was quite new to Minecraft and all of this other stuff. I didn't know when you meet someone, you're supposed to jump. I would just run the other way. I thought they were going to kill me or something. I had to, right? It was, but you make a really good point, right? You can have a lot of fun in these kind of collective online environments that I think might be part of where we're headed.
Yes. So imagine, I mean, not everybody can go to Coachella, but maybe they can, right?
Mm.
Yeah, the better the multiverse thing gets, the more the experience gets real. I mean, that was one of the things we realized really, really early on, especially during the pandemic. It's one thing to be on a Zoom call with each other. It's quite another to kind of meet up with your family and start, building some stuff in a digital world that is persistent, right? These changes exist. They're things that you have done that, of course, now with the Uplift, you actually own, right? No one can, futz with that. It's stuff that you control completely. And it's just that one more layer to, getting this digital experience to be closer to the one in the real world so that we can connect and never have to worry about, distance or separation or whatever. More human connection, I guess, right?
Yeah. You talk about the multiverse aspect of it, and I think a lot of it also just that we're going to see this multi-chain or cross-chain, these relationships between the different blockchains just really coming together and blurring that line for a true metaverse experience. I know, on our team, Smart Digital Payments, who's just a big wax person. He's very involved in the wax chain.
Yep.
And kind of leading a lot of that charge for us. We're working now with V, who's from the Whale Street team, of course, and most of all their efforts are predominantly in the Ethereum side of the world. And they're the ones that were behind the B20, if you remember that, and the Metapalooza and all that took place. Well, we're working on being able to stake even these Yoshi drops, right? The Yoshi drops on Whale Street for JAX rewards. Now,
why not? Anytime you can imbue any of these NFTs with value. And really, what we're doing, with these rewards, we're basically incentivizing people to be part of the community and to be around, right? And yeah, I mean it's super awesome. By the way, SDP has a giant tower. Jimmy, you've seen it, right? I think it's northeast of Uplifter Tower. So anybody who wants to go to visit that, it's
He is the owl.
I think what's that?
He is the Owl King, the King of Owls.
Yes, the King of Owls. I think there is an owl in there, actually, if I'm not mistaken.
I think the tower is a giant owl.
Yep. Yeah, it's cool.
It is. Yep.
All right, guys. I got a 3-hour meeting I gotta go get ready for. So we'll go
Okay.
do rinse, repeat, get some breakfast. Tim, we'd love to have you back. Thank you for coming on. We'll figure out when we're doing this next Jax on Wax drop, and we'll have you back and do some promo for that. Let people know what's going on.
Excited about it.
Yeah, us too, man. Us too. Jimmy, obviously you guys can hang out. I just gotta roll.
All right.
Yeah, cool. Thanks, man.
All right.
Corey,
Ciao.
good to see you, Jimmy. Good to see you, man.
Yeah, so I mean I got a couple more minutes, so let's get a little bit more information for people. So you can find the links for your platform and your Twitter below. People can go and they can check out what's up and coming with your events, which is definitely cool. Sorry, I was totally muted there. I thought I was talking. I was talking, but nobody was hearing me. Sorry. So I got a couple minutes. We can go over some things. You can find all the information for your platform below in the YouTube link down there. So people can go and they can check out your homepage, MetaJAX, and also your Twitter, stuff like that. Like we said, like if you happen to be on Atomic Hub or NFT Blocks, you can maybe have one of those drops that went out to our community members, so you can check out the first kind of promo release, which is pretty cool. I mean, you guys are in California, so thank you so much for getting up early in the morning, right? Like I'm in Japan. I don't know if you know that. Corey is in Eastern Standard Time, so we're like about 12 hours away. But we've actually been actively thinking about like how to maybe like bring another show or two into the mix so that we can tap into the Australian and California side of things. So like if you guys have an event or something that's going on ever, like hit me up. Like it'll be morning for me, so like I'm more than happy to like jump on with you guys and do some coverage of it, because I think that's really important. And I just think like what you mentioned before about like there isn't really going to be one metaverse to rule them all, right? Like, and what Corey kind of alluded to, I think that's a great idea, right? Like that idea that you should only use your own token or your own NFTs within your own network or your own system is kind of crazy to me, right? Like we live in a world where the majority of people don't wear watches because it's a single functionary device, right? Like some people wear them for style, like because they like them, right? They grew up with them. But like young people these days, right? Like they don't wear a watch so that they can know the time. They have an iPhone to do that, or a smartphone to do that, right? And take their pictures and listen to their music and do all of these crazy things with one device, right? So to have this one currency or this one token that you can only use at one shop or one store for one thing, to me seems really crazy. So I'm really excited to see you guys like plug and play this kind of some of these NFTs and see how they can actually earn some jacks and give that people the ultimate value, like the triple win, right? To be able to have this asset that actually produces value across multiple scenarios and boards. I think that's great, right? Like we had Bang Out on the show last night. I'm not sure if you know who Bang Out is, but he's really world renowned, like a producer in New York, and we were talking about it, and like some of the people in the comments basically said, like, what if you just walk into a concert that's in your local neighborhood and you burn the NFT and that's your entrance, right? Like there's so much potential in this kind of like NFT meets like real world space that it's just super exciting. So I think like what you guys are doing and running the gauntlet through through the pits of what seems to be present hell to like get us to heaven on earth essentially. Like I'm pretty sure it's going to be awesome, and people are going to look back at this time and place, and they're just going to be like, wow, like why didn't we think of that, right? Like why didn't we create iPhone? Why didn't we create like online musical venues that had a cool name like MetaJAX, right?
Well, mostly because it's really hard.
Mm-hmm.
It takes sacrifice, and it takes a lot of, you got to burn a lot of cash. And so it's just not easy, right? If it was easy, everybody would be doing it.
Right. Yeah. So what do you guys like? What can you tell us? What's coming next? What should people look out for? What's your like 2-week, 1-month calendar? Or what can people do? What can people get involved in? What can people see and learn more about you?
Yeah. So every Thursday night, we're doing an incredible live jazz event. And it's every Thursday, and it's almost every Sunday. Same thing is going on. And we've got a handful of JAX Blast events that are coming up on the horizon. And so we're going to be publishing those on jaxblast.com to be able to track and follow. But probably the most important events coming up are this Friday, our Substack blog post describing the tokenomics of our JAX token. Our JAX rewards token will be published. So that'll be public this Friday. And then a week from Friday, our first live NFTs coming out of the event, which will be the Tawanda NFTs. Those will be available for the first time with the JAX reward token. So that event is a week from Friday. And so we're really excited about that. But as it relates to new events, performance events, those are happening all the time, and they get on Thursdays and Sundays. You can pretty much follow us on those and see those, and we broadcast those through Twitch to the Token Smart Lounge in Crypto Voxels.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So feel free for that event, or the next couple Thursday events, feel free to drop into the Yoshi Drops channel. Okay, and just tag Kansai Crypto, and then tag and then post the event, and nobody will bother you. Like, if people are like, "Hey, why are they spamming?" Just tag me. It should be okay. Nobody should give you a hard time if you tag me, right? Like, but like, I want people to know about these events. And, yeah.
I think JAX on Wax makes a lot of sense to everyone in this community. So I'll just kind of always throw that hashtag in there. JAX.
Yeah. And I agree. And like, we're super happy to have you. Like, I don't know. I haven't seen the assets yet. I'm kind of annoyed that I haven't seen them now, just talking about it for an hour, obviously. Right. Like, but like, I haven't seen them yet, but like that promo asset that you guys dropped, I was just like blown away. Like the music, the combination of the music and what it looks like. I'm super excited to see all of the great things you guys are doing.
You'll like these tunes.
Nice. Great. So yeah, thanks, Tim. Thanks for waking up. Come back again sometime, anytime. Maybe I'll wake up some morning and you can come join me for a nightcap or something, and we can do a rehash in the next couple weeks. But hit us up, and please, everyone out there in the audience, go support JAX on Wax, because I think this is going to be pretty epic.
Right on. All right. Thank you, Jimmy.
Thanks, man.
Pleasure. All right.
I got to do this.